Let's take a look at the latest. You're watching The Morning Boat. My name is Eric Abelos. Today, instead of doing a COVID 19 update per se, we're going to meet a special guest, Roberta Smith. Roberta, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Eric. How are you?
So good. So you are new to our community. Who are you?
Who am I? Oh, that's a great question. Well, if you Google my name plus influenza, I used to be the influenza queen for a long time, but I don't know where to begin, but I am the new director of public health here for Routt County, a position that I've always dreamed of having, but never really thought I'd find myself in this role. So I'm really excited to be here. My husband and I have been part of Steamboat for about 10 years now, and coming back and forth between Denver and Steamboat. And it's actually been a 5-year plan that we've had that we would retire up to Steamboat to our home here. And that turned out to be 2020, which was kind of weird timing for a move to happen to a new community. Not really too new for us, though. But we did make the move in May to move up here permanently and start our lives as a permanent part of the Steamboat community, of which we've grown to love over the years, having our home here.
Perfect. Love it. And so do you mountain bike? Do you do anything that's outdoorsy? Because you live here in Steamboat, you're gonna have to start diving into this kind of stuff.
Absolutely. So, I used to say I was a triathlete, but I'm not that anymore. So I
Wow.
race competitively for road cycling. My husband races mountain bikes. So we're big cyclists, and my husband has a whole bike shop in our house that he tinkers on bikes. So that's a lot of our passion that we have and why we really enjoy Steamboat. We also like winter activities. Of course, we're skiers. Both my husband and I race biathlons. So, skiing and shooting, that's kind of a fun event to do in the wintertime as well. So, we do a lot of activities. I love swimming, running, hiking. So, Steamboat is definitely the place for us. And we've known that for several years.
Well, welcome home
Thank you.
from all of us at Steamboat. So, what are some of your goals to help continue on this right path that we have been going on so far here in Steamboat in Routt County?
Right. Well, I think it is an exciting time for Routt County, especially in public health. This is the first time Routt County has had a public health department, and I really applaud my predecessor for making that happen and making that a priority here for the county. And so I'm really excited to move that forward and be one of the premier public health departments in the state. There's so many great counties out there that have very robust programs. I want to follow them and see what we can do to really be the best public health department here. We have so much to offer in our community from a health perspective. So, how can we take those programs, all of those partnerships that are so robust and already exist, and really move the dial forward to getting everyone healthy and safe and having the public health resources that they need?
I love that. What exactly is public health? Like what do you do and what can we do to help you help us?
Right, right. So, we've always had an environmental health program in Routt County. And I think sometimes when people think public health, they think restaurant inspections. Those are the things that are keeping us healthy. They go on in the background. We don't really know, but that's why we, have safe places to eat. And that's certainly a big part of public health. But public health is also immunizations. Making sure that our kids and our adults are healthy. It's looking at care across the lifespan. So, are new moms getting the education that they need and the help that they need with their newborns? Are we providing access and resources for children and adults? I also, too, have a really big passion for occupational health. My nursing certification is in infectious diseases and in occupational health. And my past experiences, I've really seen the impacts that the workplace can have on a community and on workers. So I hope to kind of bring some of that perspective into public health as well, just to make sure that, again, public health is just not children and immunizations, it's across the lifespan. And we want to make sure that everyone's not being exposed to harmful elements, chemicals, diseases, and that we've got the correct prevention measures in place to address those.
Well, you sound like you have quite the resume. You love living here in Steamboat. Uh, we're just so happy to have you. What can businesses do to help plan for this winter season?
Right. And I know we're probably like exhausted. We probably have a lot of COVID fatigue. I mean, myself included. You're like, sometimes I Google, when will this be over? And that's really not a really great thing you don't get a lot of answers from that Google
Yeah,
search.
yeah.
But, certainly we can't let our guards down. We still need all of those, wash your hands, keeping places clean, sanitizing, covering your cough, staying home when you're sick. I think, we've always had this mentality in some areas where, oh, it's just a cold. I can still go to work. I'm fine. Well, those days are kind of over, and we need to make sure that even if you have slight symptoms, you're not feeling well, take that day off, because it really can mean the difference between potentially spreading an infectious disease or just, isolating it to yourself and then recovering. So, paying attention to those messages. And, these are all things that probably our mothers told us, wash your hands, cover your cough. And we just need to be continuing to do those. In the wintertime, we're going to be moving more indoors. So we've had the luxury, because we have such a wonderful county with really, nice weather in the summertime, that we're able to do a lot of things outside. So some of that's going to be moving indoors where we're closer together. So those principles really come into play even more importantly.
And last question here. Do we see any major changes coming soon to our COVID-19 response here in Wright County?
Well, we are looking at that data daily, and we do look and live the data from a day to day perspective. And what's good news is we've had low transmission for the past couple of weeks. So we are anticipating a potential bump in that data due to the Labor Day weekend. So we are closely watching that to see if we have any, increase in our cases due to people potentially gathering in larger groups than normal for that holiday weekend. But right now, we hope to be moving in this direction towards protect our neighbors, which is the next phase that CDPHE has outlined for counties to allow more county control over some of the opening and some of the restrictions that are out there. So that is certainly our goal, is to kind of move in that positive direction. Hopefully we don't have to move backwards, but certainly, if we do see a spike in cases, or we do see increased transmission in our communities, we will look at that and respond accordingly to those incidents.
Perfect. So nothing major on the books just yet, just kind of watching very closely every day. Well, Roberta, thank you so much for joining me on air this morning. I really appreciate it. And welcome to Steamboat.
Great. Thank you. Good to be here.
Hey guys, stay tuned. We have more show coming to you right after this.